Welcome back to the lecture series on the book Living in Truth, the Gandhian Paradigm. Today's lecture, lecture number 3, we are discussing Gandhi's political revolution. So in the first half, we saw that how Gandhi's Swaraj, that is Gandhi's self-rule, were described as a search and appeal, or you could say a truth-seeking initiative. It is an initiative to achieve the truth. Professor Ramin, in his chapter on Gandhi's political revolution, very well describes, he says that when we lose the touch with Gandhian politics, we inevitably lose the capacity to influence reality non-violently. The outcome of this process is familiar to us through all political experiences mentioned earlier. The plain truth is that consistent moral and political recognition of Gandhian movement or self-transformation is found common in the register of what we can say global satyagraha. So the elements which he has highlighted have been there as common global satyagraha, which is evident in all the parts of the world. Martin Luther King. Now let us see that how Gandhi's global satyagraha is prevalent and evident across the world. If we compare with Gandhian satyagraha with Martin Luther King Jr.'s struggle for justice and equality for African Americans, which took place mainly in 1950s and 60s, plays before in the ethical mirror as powerful as that of Gandhi. King's non-violent campaigns in various places like Washington DC, Montgomery, and somewhere else, and it was just an exemplification of influence of Gandhi's innovation revolutionary ideas in the domain of politics, and the demonstrations of the fact that there could be no approach to political life without an appeal to the ethical. So finally, it is the moral, ethical and truthfulness is what is one aspiring for. The Gandhian distinction between just and unjust laws benefited King's non-violent action by allowing it not only to be the part of an effort to desegregate the American society, but also to think in a more egalitarian democracy. As such, King considered non-violence as a practice of emancipation and capacity to live and act together. This human interconnectedness, which avoids exclusion and humiliation, was described by Martin Luther King as an act of love that includes the capabilities or capacities of forgiveness and reconciliation. For King also, like as for Gandhi, love was an ethical and transforming social and political relationship. As a result, King was convinced and politics was all about creating self-organization of society and lifting men's eyes to the struggle of equality and justice. So basically we are all looking up to what is being ethical, what is being described as ethical and truth. This struggle demanded suffering and self-sacrifice, which is lacking in the liberal organization of the world. He therefore argued the Negro's revolt is evolving into more than a quest for desegregation and equality. It is a challenge to a system that has created miracles of production and technology to create justice. If humanism is locked outside the system, Negroes will have revealed their inner core of despotism, that is, the political system where the ruler holds the absolute power, and a far greater struggle for liberation will unfold. Gandhi made a compelling case for power of love to transition and transform the collective consciousness against injustice and unethical politics. So the uniqueness was the collective consciousness which moves against the injustice collectively and all the unethical political actions. As such, he was trying to challenge the mainstream political ideas on the sovereignty and which was forcefully done. In one word, Gandhi's political revolution was the inversion of modern political theory as a philosophy of individual rights modern state into a theory of interdependent citizenship and non-violent action. Gandhi's theory of politicized love helped him to transcend the Hobbesian approach to politics as a universal desire for self-preservation. Gandhi essentially replaced the Hobbesian security paradigm of politics, which raises the question of the state as a political agent responsible for implementing the requirement of human security, with the paradigm of practiced, or you can say the politicized love and human solidarity. So it was basically it was the requirement towards the human security with the paradigm of politicized love and human solidarity. According to Gandhi's project of empathetic emancipation through the non-violent action and twin objective, they were basically embedded twin main objectives were behind that. That is bringing about a truly democratic transformation of society and securing an ethical social order for the individual and the community. So two things are to be considered and noted very uniquely, that it is to bring about a truly democratic transformation. Democratic where it is driven by the individuals themselves, and it is securing an ethical social order which an individual and community as a large are seeking, and they are seeking with the objective of attaining truth. Empathy for Gandhi was the search of ethical. It was a way of transforming an enemy into a companion and an ally. When love is bestowed on the so-called enemy, it is tested. It becomes a virtue. Love can fight, often it is obliged to. For Gandhi, the politicized love concept suggested an empathetic community which transcends the cold and faceless utilitarian legality and sovereignty. Therefore, the concept of politicized love pointed to the existence of political subject as a member of common humanity. So this was the underlying thin reality which Gandhi promoted and propagated. Another way in which global satyagraha can be realized is Nelson Mandela's reading on Mahatma Gandhi and his political constitution and construct. So Gandhian movement in South African politics was also exemplified as an ethnicization of politics. As for Gandhi, Mandela also considered, like Gandhi, he considered mutual tolerance between the white and black South Africans as the golden rule of political conduct. Mandela analyzed the essential unity of humanity as the process of recognition of the other, necessitating that critical self-examination and a move from egoistic centricity towards the shared humanity. This was the aim of the entire movement. For him also, like Gandhi, non-violence was a transformative, ontological and political project geared towards the view of the society and the world. For Mandela, like for Gandhi, the problem of politics was not just the answer, just to answer the question that who rules. So the politics is not just answering and addressing the question of who rules, but rather respond to the question of what are the conditions of the shared sovereignty. Under what circumstances that shared humanity, sovereignty will survive and sustain. It is with the Gandhian spirit in mind, Mandela accepted to join hands with the enemies to drag South Africa out of the hatred and bloodshed. Another incident that comply with the global satyagraha is Velvet Revolution of 1989. Gandhi's political revolution in the thoughts of Václav Havel and his central role in the descent of intellectual and civic war actor in the Velvet Revolution in 1989 in Czechoslovakia. The Velvet Revolution was a movement transition of power in Czechoslovakia, and that through very European in the essence, though it was very European in the essence, it was undeniably the democratic movement envisaged by Havel and the other actors. The Gandhian grammar here also, like grammar of ethnicization of politics, was also exemplified and emphasized. The Velvet Revolution in 1989 embraced Gandhi's ethics of empathy and has commitment to the human dignity, while insisting on speaking the truth as the right moral and political alternative to totalitarianism. Havel's attitude towards the non-violent construction of the new Czech society was based on the two Gandhian ideas, which was living in truth and adhering to the higher responsibility. Havel also wrote that when I speak of living within the truth, I naturally do not have in mind only the products of conceptual thoughts, such as protest or letter written by the group of intellectuals. It can be any means by which a person or a group revolts against the manipulation, anything from the letter by intellectuals to the workers' strike, from rock concert to a student demonstration, from refusing to vote in the farcical kind of election, to making an open speech at some official congress, or even the hunger strike, for instance. If for Gandhi experiments were politics, with politics had a fundamental ethical premise, finding its major exemplification in the values of responsibility, civility and tolerance, for Havel political action was also marked by notions such as truth and conscience. So looking at the global impact of Gandhi, in the light of global impact of Gandhian political revolution, it makes sense to underline that Gandhi politics is worthy of the name, is a strive for the responsibility, civility, sincerity, and truth seeking. Gandhi's vision for politics, therefore, was premised on the understanding of crucial ethics of citizenship in making of everydayness of the politics. So, politics is day-to-day living, and it is an endeavor and seeking the truth in day-to-day life. We can conclude that Gandhian political revolution is a way of seeing the world from below. This is how Gandhi escaped and opposed all the elitism and bureaucraticism of party politics. He never got involved with what Václav Havel calls the peculiar dance of the truth and lies. He said that peculiar dialectical dance of the truth and lies of party politics. He was a witness in the rise and fall of liberal democracies, but ultimately he knew well that citizen maturity is the primary condition of democracy. Gandhi's appeal to self-governance and higher responsibility, truth-seeking, and shared sovereignty invites a new political experience in the 21st century. If we realize this, we must also bear in mind that all global challenges which we face today are interrelated. Gandhi based his political revolution on the moral revolution. That's why we first discussed in the chapter Moral Revolution that how interconnectedness of all humans and even the human and non-human species is also important. And that trickles down to political revolution. He knew well that politics is the art of that is possible only and only if we can improve ourselves by understanding better and interconnecting deeper with the surrounding world and the natural environment. Gandhi evaluated the task of the following terms. My goal is friendship with the whole world, and I can continue the greatest love with the greatest opposition to wrong. Gandhi also was conscious that someday, at some point, humanity will return to the beautiful world that is peace. So, the living in truth, Gandhian paradigm is the basis of Gandhian revolution and the basis of this Gandhian revolution is the inner voice and interconnectedness. That it is these two aspects or these fundamental elements that will be guiding source in every generation. The future generations will recognize the virtue of Gandhian paradigm not only in India but also across the globe. They will relive and keep reinventing Gandhi in every era simply because humanity has no option but to come closer to the reality and the truth. So this was all about political revolution, today's lecture. And this was the third lecture which we did on the chapter number 3 of the book, which is Gandhi's political revolution. In the upcoming parts and the lecture series, we will go through the next two revolutions. The next revolution upcoming would be the Gandhi's economic revolution. So, based on the moral revolution and the political revolution, we gradually move on to what is the Gandhian notion on economics as a discipline and how economic revolution will take place and will embark from this chain of revolutions. So this is the book which I would like to show to you on the screen. So this is the front page of the book and that's the back side. We will quickly describe the authors. The main author is Ramin Jahanbegloo. He is an Iranian Canadian political philosopher. He is presently the Executive Director of Mahatma Gandhi for Peace Studies and Vice Dean of the School of Law at Jindal Global University, Delhi. He is author of 32 books in English, French, and Persian, including Gandhi, The Gandhian Movement, then Introduction to Nonviolence, The Disobedient Indian, Towards and Gandhian Philosophy of Dissent, The Global Gandhi, and more recently, Mahatma Gandhi, A Nonviolent Perspective on Peace. The second author is Dr. Pooja Sharma. This is myself, and I am Associate Professor in Department of Economics, Daulat Ram College, University of Delhi. I'm an alumnus of Miranda House, and I've completed my Masters from Delhi School of Economics, MPhil PhD from JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, and I've been a research scholar in University of Agder, Norway. My areas of interest are energy security, energy transition, renewable energy, human capital, and transition. I have also written a book, the From the Prism of Mahatma, The Journey of a Migrant, which later on we will see. And then to talk about the book blurbs, yeah, so we have received a wonderful comment from Professor Uday Singh Mehta, he's a professor from Political Philosophy Center of City University, New York. In this era where inequality, economic and ecological indifference are widespread, Living in Truth articulates an alternative vision of living and being together. Another blurb we have received is this book is an extremely valuable contribution to the Gandhian mode of philosophical thinking based on fundamentally on truth, non-violence and self-examination. This is by Professor Pulin Nayak, former director and professor, Delhi School of Economics, India. So this book was launched as a part of series of Gandhi Matters this book was Vajpayee ji and Ashok Vajpayee ji, and that you will find lot of links here to order one. So thank you for keeping a patience.